Hey everyone, welcome back to Feel English Podcast. I'm Anna.
And I'm Jake. It's great to have you here again.
Today, we're talking about something simple but deep, being alone. Sometimes people say, I don't want to be lonely, but being alone and being lonely are not the same thing.
Right. Lonely means you feel sad because you have no one to talk to or spend time with. But being alone just means no one else is around. And that can actually feel nice sometimes.
Exactly. So today's question is it okay to be alone?
And before we start, if you enjoy practicing English with us, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this podcast with a friend.
And we'd love to hear your thoughts. Have you ever felt lonely? Or do you sometimes enjoy being by yourself? Let us know in the comments.
All right, let's get started.
So, Jake, do you remember a time when you were alone but it didn't feel bad?
Yeah. When I moved to a new city for work, I didn't know anyone. At first, I felt lonely. It was strange eating dinner by myself. But then, after a few weeks, I started enjoying it. I could choose what to eat, listen to music I liked, and just relax.
I love that. It's like you found comfort in your own company. That phrase, in your own company, means spending time with yourself and feeling okay about it.
Exactly. I learned that being alone doesn't always mean something is wrong. Sometimes it's a chance to rest and reset.
I feel that too. I often enjoy quiet mornings. No phone, no noise, just coffee and my thoughts. It feels peaceful, not lonely.
Yeah, like your mind can breathe again. But I think a lot of people confuse being alone with being unwanted.
True. Maybe because we grow up hearing that happiness means being with people, friends, family, a partner. But being alone can also mean learning to love yourself.
That's a really good point. Maybe the problem isn't being alone, but how we see it.
Right. It's about mindset. Let's talk more about that. How society sometimes makes us feel guilty for being alone.
Anna, I think one big reason people feel bad about being alone is social pressure.
Oh, yes. Like when you see everyone posting photos online, hanging out, traveling, smiling, it makes you think, wait, am I the only one staying home?
Exactly. That's where the word FOMO comes in. It stands for fear of missing out. It means you're afraid other people are having fun without you.
Yeah, I've totally felt that before. Sometimes I'd scroll through Instagram on a Friday night, see all those party photos, and suddenly feel sad even though I was fine before.
Same here. It's funny how fast our feelings can change just by looking at a screen. But here's what I learned. What we see online isn't real life. It's just the highlights. People post their best moments, not their quiet or lonely ones.
That's so true. It's like watching a movie trailer. It only shows the exciting parts. But real life has many calm or even boring moments, and that's okay.
I used to think spending time alone meant I was weird or unfriendly. But one day, I met a coworker who loved solo travel. She said, "When you're alone, you see the world differently. You notice small things, a song, a smile, the sunset."
That's beautiful. It reminds me that being alone isn't missing out. It's tuning in. You tune into yourself and your surroundings.
Exactly. It's like switching from "what are others doing" to "how do I feel right now?"
And honestly, I think our culture needs to talk about this more. There's so much focus on togetherness, but no one teaches us how to be alone.
Yeah, we learn how to make friends, how to work in a team, but not how to sit quietly and just be with ourselves.
That's such an important skill, because if we can't enjoy our own company, We might start depending too much on others for happiness.
Exactly. And that can make relationships stressful, not peaceful.
So maybe being alone isn't a weakness, it's a kind of strength.
I like that idea. Let's talk next about how we can actually learn to enjoy being alone. Not just survive it, but enjoy it.
So, Jake, you said earlier that being alone can be a kind of strength. I really like that, but it's not always easy, right? Learning to enjoy your own company takes time.
Totally. I remember the first time I went to a cafe alone. I felt so awkward, like everyone was watching me. But of course, no one actually cared.
I know that feeling. The first time I ate at a restaurant by myself, I kept pretending to check my phone just to look busy.
Yes, but after a while, I started to feel more comfortable. I brought a book, ordered my favorite drink, and just enjoyed the moment. It became my little me time.
I love that phrase, me time. It means time you spend doing something just for yourself, to relax or recharge.
Exactly. I realized it's not about what others think, it's about how I feel. Once I stopped worrying, I actually started noticing nice details. The sound of coffee machines, people laughing, sunlight through the window. It was peaceful.
That's beautiful. For me, it started during the pandemic. I had to stay home a lot, and at first it was lonely, but then I began to enjoy simple things, cooking, journaling, listening to music, or just sitting quietly.
Oh, journaling is a great one. Writing your thoughts helps you understand yourself better. It's like talking with your own heart.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's the magic of being alone. You start hearing your inner voice again.
I agree. When we're always surrounded by people or noise, our minds get crowded. But when we're alone, things become clear.
And it doesn't mean we don't need others, it just means we're learning to be okay by ourselves too.
Right. I think people who can enjoy being alone often build stronger relationships later because they don't expect others to fill their emptiness.
That's such a good point. You're not using people to feel better, you're sharing happiness instead.
Exactly. Being alone helps you understand who you are and what you need.
So true. Let's dive deeper into that next, what we actually discover when we spend time alone.
So, Anna, you mentioned discovery. I like that word. It makes being alone sound like an adventure.
It really is. When we're alone, we discover things about ourselves that we might miss in busy life. For example, I learned that I actually love painting. I never tried it before because I thought, oh, I'm not artistic. But one quiet weekend, I picked up some brushes and just played with colors. It felt amazing.
That's awesome. For me, it was hiking. I used to go only with friends, but one day I went alone, without talking, without music, just nature. At first, it was strange, but then I started noticing everything. The wind, the smell of trees, my own breathing. It made me feel alive.
Wow, that sounds peaceful. I think that's something special about being alone. You start paying attention to little things. It's like your senses wake up again.
Exactly. And also, you get creative. When there's no one around, your mind can wander freely. That's when ideas come about. Life, goals, even problems you've been avoiding.
Yes, I think solitude, that means quiet time alone, gives space for your thoughts to grow. Sometimes we're so busy reacting to the world that we forget to listen to ourselves.
Right. And sometimes being alone can even help you heal emotionally. After my breakup, I felt really empty. I used to hang out with people all the time just to forget. But when I finally stayed alone, I cried, I wrote, I reflected, and that's when I truly started to heal.
That's really touching, Jake. Thank you for sharing that. I've had a similar experience. I think healing only happens when we stop running from our feelings. Being alone gives us the space to feel, even the hard emotions, and then let them go.
Yeah, it's like you give yourself permission to be human again.
I love that. And I think this discovery part, creativity, healing, reflection, is something many people don't realize they can get from solitude.
Absolutely. Being alone doesn't mean being empty. It can mean being full of awareness.
Beautifully said. But I guess the challenge is balance, too. Too much alone time can also turn into isolation.
True. Let's talk about that next. How to find a healthy balance between being alone and being with others.
So, Jake, we've talked about the beauty of being alone, but yeah, balance is important. Too much solitude can sometimes feel heavy.
Definitely. There's a difference between choosing to be alone and feeling stuck alone. When it's a choice, it feels peaceful, but when it's not, it can feel painful.
Right. I think one good way to tell the difference is energy. When being alone makes you feel calm and recharged, that's healthy. But if it makes you feel sad or disconnected, maybe it's time to reach out.
That's a great point. For me, I try to check in with myself every week. I ask, do I feel comfortable or do I feel lonely? That simple question helps a lot.
I love that check-in with yourself. It's like having a little emotional health check.
Yeah. And honestly, I think it's also good to plan connection time, like having coffee with a friend, joining a class, or calling family. Even small moments of contact can make a big difference.
Totally agree. I used to think being independent meant doing everything alone, but I learned that it's actually about choosing both solitude and connection when you need them.
Exactly. Balance doesn't mean 50-50 all the time. It means knowing what your heart needs in each moment.
I like that. Sometimes I'll spend Saturday morning alone, reading or cleaning, and then meet a friend in the afternoon. That mix keeps me happy.
That's perfect. I think we should also remind listeners that reaching out for help is not a sign of weakness. If you feel lonely, it's okay to talk to someone. Even a small chat can lift your mood.
Yes, just saying, hey, how are you to a friend can make both people feel better. Connection is medicine for the heart.
And when you combine that with healthy alone time, you create balance. Peace on the inside and warmth on the outside.
I love that image. Peace inside, warmth outside. Maybe that's what a good life looks like.
Yeah. And that brings us to something really important. What it truly means to be alone, but not lonely.
Perfect. Let's wrap it all up there.
So, Anna, alone, but not lonely. It sounds simple, but it's actually quite deep.
Yeah, it really is. For me, being alone but not lonely means feeling peaceful with yourself. You're not waiting for someone else to make you feel complete. You already feel whole.
That's beautiful. I think it's about connection, but not just with others, with yourself. When you know who you are, what you love, and what you need, you don't feel empty inside.
Exactly. You start to enjoy your own rhythm, waking up when you want, choosing what to eat, thinking about your dreams. You're living with yourself, not against yourself.
Yeah. And I've noticed when you're comfortable being alone, you also become a better friend or partner because you're not afraid of space. You can give others freedom too.
That's so true. I used to think love meant being together all the time, but now I know it's more about giving each other room to breathe.
It's like two trees growing side by side. They don't need to be tangled, they just need sunlight and space to grow strong.
I love that image. And maybe that's the real answer to our question. Yes, it's okay to be alone. In fact, it's not only okay, it's important.
Absolutely. Being alone helps us listen, grow, and find peace. It's not something to fear, it's something to embrace.
And to all our listeners, if you ever feel lonely, remember this. It's just a moment, not forever. You can use that time to care for yourself, learn something new, or simply rest.
Right. And never forget, even when you're by yourself, you're still connected to the world. Someone out there understands how you feel.
That's such a comforting thought. All right, Jake, let's close with reflection for everyone listening. You know, Jake, after talking today, I feel like being alone isn't something we should run away from. It's a space where we can meet ourselves, our real thoughts, dreams, and feelings.
I agree. Sometimes silence teaches us what noise never can. When we slow down and spend time alone, we begin to understand who we are, and that makes life richer.
Exactly. And I hope everyone listening remembers that learning English and life itself is also about connection, not perfection. Whether you're listening alone in your room or walking outside, you're not alone. We're here with you.
So take a deep breath, enjoy your own company, and remember it's perfectly okay to be alone.
Thanks for listening, everyone. Take care of yourselves, keep learning, and we'll see you next time on Feel English Podcast.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.